Live, covering all of Southeast Michigan. CBS News Detroit at 8 a.m.
Welcome back and welcome to Tech Talk. Today we are previewing Detroit Digital Inclusion Week. It's happening October 2nd through the 6th, so starts in just a couple of days. A number of events will be taking place across the city, helping provide internet access, digital skills training, and resources for Detroiters. So to tell us all about Detroit Digital Inclusive Week, we are joined by Executive Director of Connect 313, Victoria Katansky. Thank you, Victoria, for being here today.
Thank you.
Take me through, what is the week all about? When did it start? Kind of what do Detroiters need to know?
It starts on Monday, October 2nd, and it's an opportunity for, Monday is kind of our bigger day. It's an opportunity for policymakers, regional leaders, people from the city and community to come together and talk about different aspects of what digital inclusion means. And it ranges from policy decisions to, fintech opportunities, and also to just health and wellness and how you use the internet.
What's your role within the week? What do you need to make sure you get done to make sure it's a successful week?
That's a great question.
Or what would you like to see done, like the goal?
Well, I would love to see that that we have a good representation of people from the city and all over throughout the week. We're definitely making an effort to have more people from the community in the week, the days after, the Tuesday through Friday, and that's going to be exciting. I think it's just what would be the best is to have somebody leave knowing something different and learning something new.
When you first talk about access, especially in Detroit, was it worse than other cities? Does it need to be more talked about here? What is it about Detroit that maybe we didn't talk about it more?
So it was pretty bad. I think we all know during the pandemic, it became very clear that Detroiters didn't have access to devices or the internet. It was very difficult for people to go to work, school, anything. But since then, Connect 313 has worked to connect about 70% of the eligible people to ACP. And we're working really hard to increase that number.
ACP, the Affordable Connectivity Program,
yeah.
Correct? What is that?
It's an opportunity for people to get access to the internet at a reduced price.
How do you qualify?
It's from the federal government. There is a whole bunch of stimulus, and yeah.
Sure. This week, obviously, we talked digital divide. We want equal access. So how important is it, not just for this week, but the rest of the year? Obviously, this week could put an emphasis on it, but what should the takeaway be?
I think the takeaway needs to be that, we've become a digital world, and people need to have access just to get the basic daily functions done, from telehealth to schooling to anything. I mean, it's no longer just sharing pictures and being on, some social media. It's really about having a productive and healthy life. Who's
most at risk at falling behind in the digital divide?
It's definitely the major people in the city of Detroit. I mean, you can look on the maps and see where the median income goes low. When Detroiters make $33,000 a year for a family of 4, decisions need to be made where your money goes, and oftentimes it's not on the internet.
So with that in mind, then how could you bridge that gap? Other than this week involved, but what are some key steps that need to be made, maybe not just in Detroit, but possibly around the country too?
I think changing the conversation from it being nice to have to a need to have is something that's really important. Also trying to keep the ACP in place and make sure that we have affordable access to the internet is something that has to be continued. And it's also education. I mean, your device is only as good as you know how to use it. So we have to make sure that people know how to use it. Well,
you're here today to talk about the event, October 2nd through the 6th, correct?
Correct.
What is it? How long has it been around?
This is the 4th year of the event, and it's a whole week. The first week is, like I said, it will be at the McGregor Conference Center, and that's more of a registration, panelist discussion, formal affair. And then throughout the week, we have community events. There's quite a few of them. They're all listed on our website, and they're meant for families and other people to enjoy.
Is it a free event?
It is a free event.
So started 4 years ago, so that was right before the pandemic, right?
It was, well, it was right before. It was 2020.
2020.
Yeah.
So just at the event now, I mean, is it bigger and better? Is that what we're aiming for now with the pandemic over and people are using their devices more?
I think what we're aiming for is more knowledge, more, so I guess you could say bigger and better, but
Sure.
it's just, I think we were kind of shocked before at how disconnected everybody was and how important it was to be connected. And so now it's just really trying to get the conversation started and to show how this affects every aspect of one's life.
Sure. And Victoria, before we let you go, when people first hear the term, I think people maybe get a little confused. What's maybe something that people need to be made aware of, especially this week with Detroit Digital Inclusive Week, what it's all about?
What people have to be, that it's for everybody. That this is a week that's not just for, policymakers. We've tried to make decisions to pull in the community because, a policy is only as good as the people who need to use it.
Yeah.
So really just trying to do that.
Okay. Thank you very much, everybody. Again, Victoria Katansky here with the Detroit Digital Inclusion Week happening October 2nd through October 6th. Thank you, Victoria.
Thank you.
We'll be back in just a few minutes.